In today's video, we are diving deeper into one of the most important English-speaking skills, thinking in English. If you've watched Part 1, you already know that thinking in English is the secret to speaking fluently and confidently. Today, we're going to build on that and take your skills to the next level. 1. Why should you think in English? A quick recap. Let's remind ourselves why thinking in English is so powerful. 1. Faster conversations. When you think in English, you don't have to translate from your native language. This makes you speak faster and sound more natural. Imagine someone asks, "What do you want to eat?" If you think in your language first, you must translate the question. Think of the answer in your language. Translate it into English. This takes time and makes you nervous. Fluency comes naturally. Speaking fluently doesn't mean speaking perfectly. It means speaking confidently, even with small mistakes. When you think directly in English, words flow naturally. Build confidence. The more you train your mind to think in English, the more confident you feel. You stop worrying about mistakes because your brain is getting used to the language. Ravi's story, The Power of Thinking in English. Let me tell you about someone just like you, Ravi. Ravi was learning English to improve his life and get a good job. But every time he spoke, he struggled. Why? Because he translated everything from his native language into English. For example, if he wanted to say, "I need to buy vegetables today," he first thought of it in his native language. Then he translated it into English. By the time he finished, the conversation had already moved on. One day, Ravi's English teacher told him, "Stop translating. Start thinking in English. Even if it's hard at first, practice every day." Ravi followed 3 simple steps to start thinking in English. 1. Speak small, simple sentences in his mind. 2. Describe his surroundings in English. 3. Talk to himself in English every morning and night. Within a few months, Ravi no longer needed to translate. He started speaking faster, his confidence grew, and he finally got the job he wanted. You can do it too. Thinking in English may feel difficult at first, just like riding a bicycle for the first time. You might lose balance, fall down, or feel frustrated. But if you keep practicing, your brain will get stronger, and thinking in English will become natural. Let me ask you, do you want to speak English confidently? Do you want to think faster and sound fluent? If your answer is yes, then you're in the right place. Small steps make big changes. You don't need to think in long, complex sentences immediately. Start small and remember, 1. Simple words, short sentences, full conversations. Begin with words. Apple, table, water. Move to short sentences. I want water. Then describe things. This is a red apple. I am sitting on a wooden chair. Consistency is the key. Don't worry if it feels hard at first. Even 10 minutes of practice every day will make a big difference. Ready to move forward? Let's start practicing. In the next part, I will give you simple step-by-step exercises to train your brain to think in English. These exercises are easy, practical, and fun, so you can start using them today. Stay tuned, and let's continue this journey together. Part 2. Step-by-step exercises to start thinking in English. In Part 1, we learned why thinking in English is so important for fluency and confidence. Now, it's time to take action. In this part, I will give you step-by-step exercises to start training your brain to think directly in English. These exercises are simple, fun, and effective, and you can practice them every day. Start with simple words around you. Name what you see. Start by looking around you and naming objects in English. Don't translate. Use the words you already know. Example: you're sitting in your room. Say to yourself, "This is a table. There is a window. I see a chair." Slowly build sentences with descriptions. This is a wooden chair. The window is open. The air feels cool. Why this works? Your brain begins connecting English words directly to objects. Describe your routine. Think about your daily activities and describe them in English as you do them. Example: morning. I am brushing my teeth. I am drinking tea. Afternoon. I am walking to the market. I see many people. Evening. I am reading a book. This story is interesting. Bonus. Tip: speak these sentences aloud if you can. It will help you think faster and get used to hearing your voice in English. Use small thoughts to build sentences. Exercise 3. One-word thoughts to short sentences. Throughout the day, pick one word and turn it into a short sentence. Example: word, water. I need water. This water is cold. Word, food. I am eating food. The food is tasty. Gradually, you can start asking yourself questions. Am I hungry? What food do I want? I will make rice today. This exercise helps you train your mind to build English sentences naturally. Talk to yourself in English. Self-conversations. Choose a topic and talk to yourself about it for 2-3 minutes. Start with easy topics like 1. Your family. I have a brother. His name is Rahul. He is 10 years old. 2. Your hobbies. I like playing cricket. It makes me happy. 3. Your plans for the day. Today, I will clean my room and go to the market. Use a mirror if it helps. Look at yourself and imagine you are talking to someone. Why this works? Speaking to yourself removes the fear of being judged. You can practice without pressure. Practice thinking in questions. Ask yourself questions. Train your brain to think in English by asking simple questions throughout the day. Examples: what time is it? What am I doing now? Where is my phone? What should I eat for dinner? When you answer, use short sentences. It is 4 o'clock. I am studying English. My phone is on the table. I want to eat rice and curry. Asking and answering questions forces your brain to think actively in English. Describe your day in English. Daily journaling. Write and think about your day. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes to write about what you did. Start with simple sentences. Example: today, I woke up at 6 a.m. I had tea and bread for breakfast. Then I went to the market and bought vegetables. I came home, cooked lunch, and cleaned my room. In the evening, I watched a movie and read a book. It was a good day. If writing feels hard, don't worry. Start with 2-3 sentences and increase the length over time. Bonus tip: after writing, read aloud what you wrote. This reinforces your thinking and speaking skills at the same time. Use English in small tasks, real-life practice. Everyday English challenges. Challenge yourself to use English in simple, real-life tasks. In the kitchen. I need salt. This tea is sweet. At the market. I want 1 kilo of apples. At a shop. How much is this shirt? Even if you only speak a few words, keep going. Real-life practice will make your thinking automatic. 7. Visual thinking. See pictures in English. Exercise. 8. Describe what you see in pictures. Find simple pictures, nature, people, or objects, and describe them in English. Example. Look at a picture of a park. There is a green park. Children are playing. The sky is blue. The weather looks nice. You can also watch a short video with no sound and describe what's happening in simple sentences. Why this works? Your brain connects English to images and real situations, which improves thinking speed. Practice with English songs and simple stories. Sing or read in English. 1. Songs. Listen to simple English songs, like children's songs or slow pop songs. Sing along and focus on the words. 2. Stories. Read easy English stories. Stop after every paragraph and describe what happened in your own words. Example. Read. The boy went to the market to buy milk. Think. The boy needed milk. He went to the market. This exercise helps you think faster while also improving your listening and reading skills. The 5-minute English Thought Challenge. Set a timer for 5 minutes every day. During this time, think only in English. Describe whatever you are doing or seeing at that moment. Example. I am sitting on my chair. The window is open. I can hear the birds. I feel happy today. At first, you might find it hard, but with practice, 5 minutes will turn into 10, then 15, and soon you'll be thinking in English without even realizing it. Conclusion of Part 2. Take the first step. Thinking in English is not about perfection. It's about practice and consistency. Start with small thoughts, simple words, and short sentences. Use these exercises every day, and you will see improvement. In Part 3, I will discuss how to overcome common barriers that stop you from thinking in English and how to stay motivated even when it feels hard. Keep practicing, keep improving, and remember, every small effort counts. Part 3. Overcoming common barriers to thinking in English. In Part 2, we learned step-by-step exercises to train your brain to think in English. But let's be honest, learning something new, like thinking in a different language, is not always easy. In today's video, I'll share how to overcome the most common barriers people face when trying to think in English. If you feel stuck, don't worry. I'll guide you through it. Fear of making mistakes. The first and most common problem is the fear of making mistakes. You might think, what if I think wrong? What if I use the wrong words? People will laugh at me if I speak badly. This fear can stop you from even trying to think in English. But here's the truth. Mistakes are part of learning. Imagine a child learning to walk. Does the child give up after falling a few times? No. They keep trying until they can walk confidently. Learning English works the same way. How to overcome this fear. 1. Focus on communication, not perfection. Don't worry if your sentences are not perfect when you think or speak. The goal is to express yourself. For example, I going to market. Correct it in your mind. I am going to the market. Every mistake helps you improve. 2. Remind yourself, no one is judging you. Thinking in English is your private practice. No one can hear what you're thinking, so you are free to make mistakes without fear. 3. Repeat this mantra. It's okay to make mistakes. Every mistake makes me better. Limited vocabulary. The second challenge is feeling like you don't know enough words to think in English. You might start a sentence in your mind but stop halfway because you can't remember the right word. How to build your vocabulary for thinking. 1. Use simple words you already know. Don't try to use big or complicated words in the beginning. Focus on basic words that describe your day. For example, I see a cat. The cat is black. It is sleeping on the chair. Learn words by category. Divide new words into categories and focus on one category at a time. Kitchen, plate, spoon, glass, rice. Daily routine, wake up, brush teeth, cook food, clean. Nature, sun, tree, sky, water. 3. Think in phrases, not single words. Instead of learning just water, think, I am drinking water. Learn small, ready-to-use phrases that connect words into sentences. 4. Keep a word journal. Write down 5 new words every day and use them in short thoughts or sentences. For example, word, book. Thought, I am reading a book. Word, tired. Thought, I feel tired today. Thinking in your native language, first. This is the most common barrier, translating thoughts from your native language into English. It slows you down, makes you nervous, and breaks your fluency. How to break the translation habit. Start with simple direct thoughts. Instead of thinking, मुझे पानी पीना है, I need to drink water. Train your brain to skip the first step and think, I need water. 2. Practice immediate thinking. Look at objects and immediately say their names in English without translating. Chair, chair. Fan, fan is on. Use mental images. Train your mind to connect images with English words, not translations. Example. When you see an apple, think apple, not Seb. Think in simple steps. Start with words, move to short phrases, then build full sentences. Lack of consistency. Many people give up after a few days because they don't see immediate results. They think, it's too hard. I will never think in English. But remember, consistency is the key to success. Thinking in English is like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. How to stay consistent. Set small daily goals. Spend just 5 minutes a day thinking in English. Slowly increase to 10, then 15 minutes. Make thinking fun. Use activities you enjoy to practice thinking in English. For example, listen to a song and describe how it makes you feel. Watch a short video and think about what you see. Track your progress. Keep a notebook where you write what you thought about each day. Example, entry. Today, I thought about my morning routine. I said, I wake up at 6 a.m., I drink tea. Celebrate small wins. If you thought in English for 5 minutes today, celebrate it. Small wins build motivation. Know one to practice with. Many learners feel lonely because they don't have someone to speak English with. This also makes it harder to think in English because they have no practice partner. How to practice alone and think better. 1. Talk to yourself. Self-talk is one of the most powerful tools for thinking in English. Narrate your day, your thoughts, or your plans. 2. Use a voice recorder. Record your thoughts in English for 1 to 2 minutes each day. Listen to them and notice where you can improve. 3. Create imaginary conversations. Imagine you are talking to a friend, teacher, or family member. Example: Hello, how are you? I am fine. Today, I cooked rice and lentils. 4. Think aloud in daily activities. While cooking, cleaning, or walking, speak your thoughts aloud in English. Example: I am boiling water. Now, I will add rice. 6. Final motivation: never give up. Every successful English speaker started exactly where you are now. They struggled, made mistakes, and felt frustrated, but they never gave up. Thinking in English is a journey. There will be days when it feels easy and days when it feels impossible. But if you stay consistent and keep practicing, your brain will adapt. Conclusion of Part 3. In Part 4, I will share daily routines and habits that will train your brain to think in English automatically. These routines are easy to follow and will help you stay consistent on your journey to fluency. Keep practicing. Keep thinking. You're already improving. Part 4. Daily routines to train your brain to think in English. In Part 3, we discussed how to overcome common barriers when trying to think in English. Today, we are moving forward with something very important: daily routines. In this part, I will give you simple, effective daily habits that will help you train your brain to think in English naturally. If you follow these routines consistently, you will see amazing progress. Morning routine. Start your day in English. Your mind is fresh in the morning, making it the perfect time to practice thinking in English. Here's what you can do. English affirmations. Begin your day with positive English affirmations. Say them aloud or in your mind. I am learning English every day. I can think in English. Today, I will practice English confidently. This builds confidence and sets the tone for your day. Describe your morning routine. Think about your actions in English as you do them. I am waking up now. I am brushing my teeth. I will make tea for breakfast. At first, use simple sentences. As you improve, add details. I am brushing my teeth with a blue toothbrush. The tea smells good. It is hot and tasty. Think aloud while doing tasks. Thinking while doing daily activities is one of the best ways to make thinking in English automatic. Narrate your actions in real time. As you go about your day, describe what you're doing. I am wearing my shoes. I am walking to the market. The weather is hot today. This simple habit trains your brain to think in English as part of your daily life. Use a mental to-do list. Make a mental to-do list in English for your tasks each day. I will buy vegetables from the market. I need to call my friend at 5 p.m. I will study English for 30 minutes tonight. Practice during breaks, spare time. Everyone has free time during the day, waiting for a bus, standing in line, or sitting alone. Use these moments to practice thinking in English. Observe and describe. Look around you and describe what you see. There is a woman wearing a red dress. The man is talking on the phone. The bus is coming. It is blue in color. Think about your feelings. Describe how you feel. I am happy today because I learned a new word. I feel tired because I worked hard. This food is delicious. I like it very much. Afternoon activity. Talk to yourself. Talking to yourself in English may sound silly, but it is one of the most powerful ways to practice. 2-minute self-talk practice. Set a timer for 2 minutes and speak to yourself in English about 1. What you are doing. I just finished lunch. I had rice and curry. 2. What you plan to do next. After this, I will study English for 10 minutes. If you don't know a word, use simple words to explain. Example. If you don't know the word umbrella, say, a thing that keeps me dry in the rain. Evening routine. Reflect on your day in English. Before you go to bed, spend 5 to 10 minutes reflecting on your day. Write a daily journal. Write a few sentences in English about what you did that day. Today, I woke up at 6 a.m. I made tea and had breakfast. Then I went to the market and bought vegetables. I studied English in the evening. I am happy with my progress. This habit helps you think about your day entirely in English. Don't worry about mistakes. Focus on expressing your thoughts. Plan your next day in English. Think about what you need to do tomorrow and say it in English. Tomorrow I will visit my friend. I need to study English for 30 minutes. I will clean my room in the afternoon. Entertainment time. Immerse yourself in English. Even in your free time, you can practice thinking in English. Watch simple English videos or shows. Choose videos, movies, or cartoons in simple English. As you watch, think about what is happening in the scene. The man is drinking coffee. The woman is talking on the phone. Repeat phrases. When you hear a sentence you like, repeat it to yourself. For example, I will see you tomorrow. What are you doing? These sentences will help you think faster in daily conversations. Weekend activity. Speak in English with someone. Once a week, try speaking English with a friend, family member, or even yourself. Create an English-only hour. Choose 1 hour on the weekend to think, speak, and write only in English. Describe what you are doing. Think about your plans for the day. Talk to someone if possible, or record yourself speaking. Stay consistent with rewards. Consistency is the key to success. Set small rewards to motivate yourself. Reward yourself for thinking in English. If you practiced for 10 minutes, reward yourself with something small, like watching your favorite show, eating a treat, or taking a short break. Celebrate your progress. Today, I thought in English for 10 minutes. I am proud of myself. These small rewards will help you stay motivated. Conclusion of Part 4. Make it a habit. By following these simple routines every day, you will train your brain to think in English naturally. Start with small s and slowly increase your practice time. In Part 5, I will share powerful tips to make thinking in English a long-term habit and help you stay consistent on this journey. Remember, small s every day lead to big success. Keep practicing, and thinking in English will become as natural as breathing. Part 5, Tips to make thinking in English a lifelong habit. In Part 4, I shared daily routines to help you think in English naturally. Today, we are taking it one further. In this final part, I will give you powerful tips to make thinking in English a long-term habit. If you follow these tips, you'll not only think in English effortlessly, but also feel confident speaking it for life. Start small and be consistent. One of the biggest reasons people fail is because they try to do too much, too quickly. Thinking in English is a skill that grows over time. Tip 1. Begin with 5 minutes a day. Set a timer for 5 minutes every day where you only think in English. Gradually increase to 10, 15, and eventually 30 minutes. Example. In the beginning, think, I am sitting in my room. It is quiet here. Later, build on it. I am sitting in my room. It is quiet, and I can hear the birds outside. I am planning to study English now. Consistency is key. If you do this every day, your brain will adapt and start thinking in English automatically. Surround yourself with English. The more you surround yourself with English, the easier it becomes to think in English. Turn your environment into an English zone. Tip 2. Label everything in your home. Use sticky notes to label common items in English. Table, table, mirror, mirror, window, window. Every time you look at these items, your brain will think in English without effort. Tip 3. Change your phone and apps to English. Change the language settings of your phone, social media apps, and devices to English. This forces your brain to understand English in everyday situations. Use English during your hobbies. Make English part of the activities you already enjoy. This way, thinking in English feels fun, not like work. Tip 4. Watch, listen, and enjoy English content. Watch English TV shows, cartoons, or movies. Start with simple content like animated movies which use easy words. Think about what's happening as you watch. The boy is running. He looks scared. Listen to English songs and podcasts. Pick slow songs where the lyrics are easy to understand. Sing along and think about the words. Listen to English podcasts on topics you love, e.g., travel, sports, self-improvement. Read books and articles. Start with children's books or short stories. After reading a paragraph, ask yourself, what did I learn? What happened in this story? Practice thinking questions. Throughout the day, asking yourself questions in English forces your brain to think quickly and actively. Tip 5. Use these questions in daily life. When you wake up, what will I do today? While eating, do I like this food? How does it taste? While working or studying, am I tired? Should I take a break? At night, what did I learn today? What will I do tomorrow? Example, thought process. It's 6 a.m. I woke up early today. I will drink tea and study English for 20 minutes. Thinking in English this way will soon become a natural habit. Visualize in English. Visualization is a powerful tool that helps your brain think in English faster. Tip 6. Picture situations and narrate them. Close your eyes and imagine simple situations, then describe them in English. Your day. I am going to the market. I see many people. I will buy apples and bananas. Future events. Next week I will visit my friend. We will have tea and talk. Why this works. Visualization connects your thoughts directly to English words without translation. Talk to yourself out loud. Talking to yourself might feel strange at first, but it is an excellent way to practice thinking in English. Tip 7. Speak as you think. Choose a topic and talk out loud for 2 to 3 minutes. Today, I cleaned my room. It was messy, but now it looks nice. I feel happy. If you can't find words, use gestures or simple sentences to explain. Turn mistakes into lessons. Thinking in English isn't about perfection. Mistakes are a sign that you are trying and improving. Tip 8. Embrace mistakes and correct yourself. If you make a mistake, don't get upset. Instead, correct yourself. Mistake. I going to market. Correction. I am going to the market. Write down mistakes in a small notebook so you can learn from them. Remember, the more mistakes you make, the faster you improve. Celebrate your progress. Progress can feel slow when you are learning something new, but if you look back, you'll see how far you've come. Tip 9. Track your progress. Weekly. Every week, ask yourself, can I think faster in English now? What new words or phrases did I learn this week? Write your answers down and celebrate your progress. Example. This week I thought in English for 15 minutes every day. I learned 10 new words and I feel more confident. Build a growth mindset. Thinking in English is a journey. Some days will be hard and you may feel stuck, but that's part of learning. Tip 10. Remind yourself of your why. Ask yourself, why do I want to learn English? To speak fluently and confidently. To improve my career opportunities. To connect with people from around the world. When you remember your goal, you'll stay motivated to keep practicing. Conclusion of Part 5. Thinking in English for Life. Thinking in English is not just about speaking fluently. It's about building confidence, opening new opportunities, and improving yourself every day. Here's a quick summary of the tips. Start small and be consistent. Surround yourself with English. Use English during your hobbies. Practice thinking questions throughout the day. Visualize situations and narrate them. Talk to yourself out loud. Turn mistakes into lessons. Celebrate your progress. Build a growth mindset. Final words for the audience. Remember, small S every day lead to big results. Thinking in English is not difficult if you keep practicing. Use these tips daily. Stay consistent, and soon you'll notice that your mind naturally thinks in English. Thank you for watching Simple Spoken English, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Keep practicing, keep learning, The Journey to Mastering English, a story of passion and persistence. Have you ever dreamed of speaking English fluently? Imagine traveling to new countries, making friends from around the world, and feeling confident in every conversation. Sounds exciting, right? But let's be honest. Learning a new language isn't easy. It takes patience, practice, and a bit of creativity. This is the story of Lily, a determined young girl who set out on an incredible journey to master English. Like many of us, she faced struggles, forgetting words, feeling nervous while speaking, and sometimes even wanting to give up. But she didn't. Instead, she discovered powerful strategies that transformed her learning experience. And guess what? These strategies can help you too. Day 1. A new beginning. Lily had always dreamed of seeing the world. She wanted to visit London, New York, and Tokyo, meet new people, and share stories. But there was one big problem. Her English was weak. She often hesitated while speaking, afraid of making mistakes. One bright morning, she walked into her English class at Maplewood High School, feeling both excited and nervous. Her new teacher, Mrs. Carter, greeted her with a warm smile. "Lily, learning English is like an adventure," Mrs. Carter said. "It may seem difficult at first, but with the right approach, you'll be amazed at how much you can achieve." She handed Lily a small notebook. "This is your vocabulary journal. Every day, write down 5 new words, use them in sentences, and try to include them in conversations. Consistency is key." Lily felt a spark of motivation. She flipped open the notebook and wrote her first 5 words: journey, determination, explore, confidence, and transform. She repeated them to herself, imagining them as stepping stones on her path to mastering English. Day 2. The Magic of Stories. The next day, Mrs. Carter introduced a powerful technique. "Have you ever noticed how we remember stories better than facts?" she asked. "That's because stories create emotions and images in our minds. When you learn new words, try to associate them with a story." Lily decided to give it a try. That evening, she read a short story about a girl traveling through a mysterious forest. She highlighted new words and imagined the scenes vividly. When she came across the word whisper, she pictured trees swaying and leaves rustling in a soft whispering sound. When she learned courage, she imagined the girl bravely facing a wild animal. To her surprise, the words stuck in her memory effortlessly. Day 5. Turning words into pictures. Lily discovered another trick: visualization. Instead of memorizing words in a boring way, she created mental pictures. For example, when she learned the word bridge, she imagined a grand stone bridge over a peaceful river. She could almost hear the water flowing beneath it. To remember benevolent, which means kind and generous, she pictured a kind queen named Bella who always helped people. This simple technique made learning fun. She even started drawing small doodles in her vocabulary journal to make the words come alive. Day 7. Immersing in English. By the end of the first week, Lily realized that just studying English wasn't enough. She had to live it. So, she made a plan. Listening to English daily, she started watching English cartoons and movies with subtitles. She paid attention to pronunciation and repeated phrases aloud. Speaking without fear. At first, she was shy, but then she reminded herself, making mistakes is part of learning. She practiced speaking with her classmates and even talked to herself in English. Writing daily. Every night, She wrote a short diary entry in English. Some days it was just a few sentences, but it helped her express her thoughts more naturally. Slowly but surely, English started feeling like a friend rather than a subject. Day 14. The Flashcard Challenge. One afternoon, Mrs. Carter introduced a new game, the Flashcard Challenge. "Lily, do you know what makes a word stick in your mind?" she asked. "Using it again and again?" Lily guessed. "Exactly. Repetition is powerful. That's why we're going to play a flashcard game." Mrs. Carter gave Lily a stack of cards. On one side was a new word, and on the other, its meaning. Lily had to guess the meaning before flipping the card. At first, she struggled, but as she kept playing, her memory improved. She even started making her own flashcards at home. Day 21. Facing the Fear. Despite all her progress, Lily still had one big fear: speaking in front of people. One day, Mrs. Carter announced a surprise challenge. "Next week, each of you will share a short story in English." Lily's heart pounded. She wasn't sure if she was ready. What if she forgot her words? What if people laughed? But then, she remembered her goal: to travel, to make friends worldwide, to speak English confidently. She had come so far. Could she really give up now? So, she made a decision. She would prepare, she would practice, and most importantly, she would believe in herself. She spent the next few days crafting her story, using all the new words she had learned. She practiced in front of the mirror, then in front of her little brother. She even recorded herself speaking and listened to it. With every practice, her confidence grew. Then the big day arrived. Lily took a deep breath, walked to the front of the class, and began speaking. But suddenly, she froze. Her mind went blank. The class was silent. Would she recover, or would fear win? Lily stood frozen in front of the class. Her hands felt cold, and her heart pounded like a drum. She had practiced this speech so many times, but now, as she looked at the expectant faces before her, her mind went blank. Then, she heard a gentle voice. "You've got this, Lily," Mrs. Carter whispered with an encouraging nod. Taking a deep breath, Lily focused on the first sentence she had memorized. Slowly, the words started to come back. She spoke carefully at first, then with growing confidence. As she finished her speech, the room erupted into applause. She had done it. That moment changed something inside her. She realized that fear wasn't her enemy. It was just another challenge to overcome. And with that victory, her journey became even more exciting. Day 16. Immersing in English. Mrs. Carter had always said, "The more you surround yourself with English, the more natural it will feel." Lily took this advice to heart. She started watching her favorite movies in English. At first, she kept the subtitles on, but soon she challenged herself to watch without them. It felt strange in the beginning, like stepping into deep water without knowing how to swim. But soon she started recognizing words and phrases. She also began listening to English songs. Instead of just humming along, she paid attention to the lyrics, looking up words she didn't understand. One day, she caught herself singing along to a song she once thought was too fast for her. It was a small victory, but an important one. Even in daily life, she found ways to practice. She spoke English with her friends, who were supportive and patient. At the local cafe, she ordered in English, even if it made her nervous. Bit by bit, English became part of her world, and learning started to feel less like studying and more like living. Day 30. The Plateau. A month into her journey, something unexpected happened. Lily hit a wall. No matter how much she practiced, she felt like she wasn't improving. She struggled to remember new words, and her excitement started to fade. Was she doing something wrong? Mrs. Carter noticed her frustration. "Lily, every learner hits a plateau," she said gently. "It's actually a good sign. It means you're pushing your limits. But instead of giving up, let's try a new approach." She introduced Lily to mnemonics, fun memory tricks to make words easier to recall. To remember benevolent, kind, and generous, imagine a kind queen named Bella who helps everyone, Mrs. Carter suggested. Lily tried it, and to her surprise, it worked. She started making her own associations, a gigantic elephant for gigantic, or a melancholy melody for melancholy. She also started using flashcards, reviewing them daily. Soon, learning felt fun again, and she broke through her plateau. Day 45, setting goals. Mrs. Carter knew it was time for a challenge. "Lily, let's set a goal. In 3 months, you'll give a short speech in English. It'll be your milestone." Lily felt a mix of excitement and fear. A speech? In front of people? But she knew challenges helped her grow, so she accepted. She began preparing, practicing daily, and asking for feedback. The more she practiced, the more confident she became. To keep herself motivated, she started rewarding herself. Each time she reached a goal, learning 20 new words, finishing a book in English, or speaking without hesitation, she treated herself. Sometimes it was her favorite dessert, sometimes a movie night. Small celebrations made the journey enjoyable. Day 60, the power of consistency. Something amazing started to happen. With daily practice, English no longer felt like a foreign language. It became part of her. She could remember words more easily, understand conversations without translating in her head, and even think in English sometimes. "Lily, you're doing wonderfully," Mrs. Carter said one day. "Remember, consistency is the key. A little practice every day will take you further than cramming once in a while." That's when Lily made a decision. English was no longer just something she was learning. It was something she was living. Day 90. The big day. 3 months had passed, and the day of Lily's speech arrived. She stood in front of the class. This time, she wasn't as nervous. "Good morning, everyone," she began. "Today, I want to share my journey of learning English." As she spoke, she realized something. She wasn't struggling for words. They came naturally. She wasn't afraid. She was enjoying this moment. When she finished, her classmates applauded, and Mrs. Carter smiled with pride. This was no longer just about learning English. This was about discovering confidence, resilience, and the joy of stepping out of her comfort zone. Day 120. The Book Club. Lily's love for English kept growing. She joined a book club where she discussed novels with others. At first, she felt shy. What if she said something wrong? But soon she realized that no one was perfect. It was about learning together. Sharing her thoughts in English helped her understand the language better. She picked up new phrases, different accents, and even slang. Reading wasn't just about learning. It became a way to connect with people and ideas from around the world. Day 150, writing her own stories. One day, Mrs. Carter suggested something new. "Lily, have you ever thought about writing your own stories?" Lily hesitated. Could she really write in English? But she decided to try. She started with short stories, simple ones at first, then longer ones. She even entered a school writing competition. When the results came in, she couldn't believe it. She had won second place. That day, she realized something powerful. English wasn't just a skill she was learning. It was a way to express herself, to share her thoughts, and to tell her own stories. Day 180. A new dream. 6 months ago, Lily had one dream: to speak English fluently. Now she had achieved so much more. But this was just the beginning, because now a new dream was forming in her heart, a dream bigger than she had ever imagined. What was it? That's a story for another day. Day 180, the summer camp. During the summer, Lily got the chance to attend an English summer camp, an immersive experience designed to enhance her language skills. The camp was unlike anything she had experienced before. Instead of sitting in a classroom, she participated in interactive workshops, group discussions, storytelling sessions, and drama performances. Every activity encouraged campers to speak English naturally and confidently. One of the best parts was meeting new friends from different countries. At first, she was hesitant. What if they didn't understand her? But as she spent more time with them, she realized that everyone was learning together. The more she practiced, the easier it became. By the end of the camp, Lily had gained fluency, built confidence, and learned to communicate without fear. She understood that language learning is more than just grammar and vocabulary. It's about using English in real-life situations. Day 210, a trip abroad. A few months later, Lily's journey took an exciting turn. She traveled to England with her family. This was her first time visiting an English-speaking country, and she was determined to make the most of it. From the moment she landed, she had to navigate travel challenges using English, asking for directions, ordering food, and talking to locals. At first, she was nervous, but as she interacted with people, she realized that her English was good enough to be understood. One of her proudest moments was ordering a meal at a restaurant all by herself. When the waiter understood her order without any confusion, she felt a surge of confidence. This trip showed Lily the real-world applications of everything she had learned. English wasn't just a subject in school anymore. It was a tool that allowed her to connect with people and explore new places. Day 240. The Debate Club. Back at school, Lily wanted to continue improving her English, so she joined the debate club. This was a new challenge. It wasn't just about speaking English, but also about thinking critically and expressing opinions clearly. Through debates, she learned to structure her arguments, listen carefully to others, and respond thoughtfully. At first, she was nervous about speaking in front of an audience, but with practice, she became more confident. One day, she participated in a national-level debate competition. Standing in front of a large crowd, she presented her arguments with clarity and confidence. When she finished, her team won second place. Debating not only improved her speaking skills, but also helped her become a better listener, thinker, and communicator, all essential for mastering a language. Day 270, helping others. Lily's journey didn't end with her speech or her trip abroad. Instead, she took what she had learned and started helping younger students who were just beginning their English learning journey. She shared tips, fun memory tricks, and motivational advice, reminding them that making mistakes was part of learning. Mistakes are not failures, they are opportunities to learn, she told them. Even native speakers make mistakes. What matters is that you keep going. Lily encouraged them to adopt a growth mindset, believing that their abilities could improve with effort and practice. She reminded them that language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Every mistake corrected, every new word learned, and every conversation held was a step toward fluency. Conclusion. Keep going. Language learning is a journey filled with ups and downs. There will be challenges, but every challenge is an opportunity to grow. Lily had started as a hesitant learner, struggling with English, but through consistent practice, real-life experiences, and a positive mindset, she transformed into a confident speaker. She visualized herself speaking fluently and traveling the world, using English effortlessly. This dream kept her motivated, reminding her why she was learning English in the first place. And now, as she looked back on her journey, she knew one thing for sure. Anyone can learn English, as long as they believe in themselves. Hello, my amazing students. How are you today? I hope you're doing great, because today I'm going to share something with you, something that could change your life forever. Are you ready? Are you really listening? Good, because this might be the most important English lesson you'll ever hear. Let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever felt nervous when you try to speak English? Maybe your hands sweat. Maybe your voice shakes a little. Maybe you just don't speak at all. You freeze. You know what you want to say. The words are there in your mind, but they don't come out. It's like your brain and your mouth are not connected. Does that sound familiar? If yes, then trust me. You're not alone. I've been there too. I still remember the first time I tried to speak in a new language. My voice disappeared. I forgot everything. I even forgot how to say hello properly. I was embarrassed. I felt small, and I thought, maybe I'll never be able to do this. But here I am, speaking to you now in English, helping you become fluent. If I can do it, so can you. Let's be honest for a moment. English can feel difficult, right? So many words, rules, tenses, grammar, accents, idioms. It can be overwhelming. But here's the secret. English is not impossible. In fact, it's much easier than you think. Yes, you heard me right. You can speak English. You can speak English fluently. And you can do it faster than you imagine. But first, we have to deal with something very important. The biggest enemy of your English speaking is not grammar. It's not vocabulary. It's not even pronunciation. It's fear. Fear of making mistakes. Fear of being laughed at. Fear of not sounding perfect. Fear of failing. But guess what? Mistakes are proof that you're trying. And trying is the only way to learn anything in life. Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I met a girl named Angeli. She was a smart student. She had studied English in school for over 10 years. She could read and write very well. But when it came to speaking, she couldn't even say a full sentence. Why? Because she was too scared to make a mistake. She used to say, "What if someone laughs at me?" Or, "What if I say the wrong word?" So, she remained silent. For years. But one day, something changed. She got a job interview where English was necessary. She had no choice. She had to speak. And you know what happened? She spoke. Slowly, nervously. But she spoke. The interviewer smiled and said, "Your English isn't perfect, but you're trying, and that's impressive." From that day on, she started speaking every day. She spoke to herself in the mirror. She spoke with friends. She watched English movies and copied the actors. She made mistakes, but she laughed at them, learned from them, and moved on. Today, she works as a team leader in a multinational company. Amazing, right? Now it's your turn. From today, I want you to forget everything that made English feel difficult. Forget those boring grammar books. Forget the fear of mistakes. Forget the pressure to speak perfectly. Instead, let's focus on learning English the natural way. The way you learned your first language. Think about it. When you were a baby, did you open a grammar book? Did someone give you a vocabulary test? No. You listened, observed, copied, and slowly you spoke. That's exactly how you're going to learn English now. You're not going to study English anymore. You're going to live it. English shouldn't be something you practice for 1 hour and forget for the rest of the day. No, It should be all around you. It should become part of your daily life. You should hear it, speak it, think in it every single day. Now, you may ask, how do I do that if I don't live in an English-speaking country? Great question. Let me give you a few simple but powerful tips. Tip 1. Change your phone's language to English. Yes, it's that simple. Every time you open your phone, you'll see English words. Your brain will get used to them without effort. Tip 2. Talk to yourself. Yes, out loud. When you wake up, say, I am brushing my teeth. When you make tea, say, I am making tea. When you go out, say, it's a beautiful day today. At first, you'll feel silly, but after a few days, it will feel natural. Tip 3. Watch English shows and copy the actors. Try shows like Friends or The Office. They use simple, everyday English. Pause the video and repeat the dialogue. Copy the tone, the rhythm, even the body language. Tip 4. Join online speaking groups. There are thousands of learners like you on the internet. Join WhatsApp groups, Telegram groups, or even English clubs on Zoom. Speak with strangers. No one is perfect. Everyone is learning, just like you. Tip 5. Read aloud. Pick a short story, a newspaper article, or a paragraph from your favorite book and read it aloud every day. This helps improve your pronunciation and fluency. Let me tell you what I do. Every morning I spend 10 minutes speaking to myself in English. I describe my plan for the day. Today I will record a video, then I will edit it. I have to respond to messages. I will take a walk in the evening. That's it. Simple, right? But it works like magic. Now, let's talk about something very important. Your mindset. If you believe English is hard, your brain will fight against it. But if you believe English is easy, your brain will help you learn. So starting now, promise me this. Never say, my English is bad. Never say, I cannot speak English. Instead say, I am learning English. Say, I am improving every day. Say, I am getting better and better. Say it out loud. Right now. Yes, right now. Try it. English is easy for me. I can speak English. I am learning every day. These words are powerful. They are not just words. They are seeds. And when you plant them in your mind, they grow. They create confidence. They create belief. They create results. Remember this. Every time you open your mouth and try to speak English, you are one step closer to fluency. Even if you make a mistake, especially when you make a mistake. Because mistakes are the real teachers. Do you know what else helps? Creating a mini English world around you. Label items in your room. Write mirror on your mirror. Write door on your door. Window, bed, lamp, table. When you see those words every day, they become part of your thinking. Use sticky notes, write small sentences, and put them on your wall. I am strong. I speak English with confidence. Today is a great day to learn. Speak them aloud every morning. Feel the energy in those words. And don't worry if your English isn't perfect yet. Do you think native speakers never make mistakes? They do, all the time. I've heard people say, he don't like it, instead of, he doesn't like it. And they're native speakers. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to communicate, to express your ideas, to be understood, to understand others. That's it. You don't need 10,000 words in your vocabulary. You need confidence, practice, and a love for the language. And guess what? You already have all three. You just have to use them. Now, my dear students, we're just getting started. This is only the beginning of your English journey. I'm not just here to teach you tips. I'm here to walk with you, step by step, until English becomes your second nature. In the next lesson, we'll go deeper. I'll show you how to build real conversations, how to train your brain to think in English without effort, how to practice even if you have no one to talk to. Are you excited? Do you feel the change already beginning inside you? Good, because something amazing is coming next. Hello, my wonderful students. Yes, you, sitting right there. Let me ask you something. Have you ever stood in front of a mirror, looked at yourself and said, I can speak English. No? Well, today, everything is going to change. I'm going to share something magical with you. Something so simple, yet so powerful, that if you do it daily, your English will start to flow like a river. Are you ready? Here it is. Talk to yourself in English. Yes, you heard me right. Talk to yourself. Every single day. Now you might be thinking, talk to myself? Isn't that weird? And I get it. The first time you try it, you might laugh. You might feel a bit silly. I remember the first time I tried this. I was standing in front of the mirror, pretending I was giving a speech at an international event. I said, "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today I feel excited, proud, and a little nervous." And then I burst out laughing. But guess what? That day changed my confidence forever. Why is this technique so powerful? Because when you talk to yourself, you remove fear. You don't have to worry about judgment. No one is watching you. No one is correcting you. It's just you and your voice. And that voice becomes stronger every time you use it. Start simple. Stand in front of a mirror and ask yourself, how are you today? Now answer, I'm doing great. I have a lot to do, but I feel good today. You see? That's a real conversation. It's practice, and it works. I remember a student of mine named Ravi. He was always shy, never spoke in class, but I gave him this one task, talk to himself in English every day for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. He felt awkward at first, but within a week, something amazing happened. He started speaking in class. He was smiling more. His confidence was shining through his words. All because of 5 minutes a day. Now let's take this one step further. What if you could turn your home into your English classroom? Let's do it. Here's a fun and powerful trick. Label everything in your house. Take small pieces of paper and write the names of things around you in English. Stick one on your mirror. Write mirror. Stick one on your door. Write door. Your table, your cup, your fridge, your remote control, your phone charger. Label everything. Why do this? Because your brain learns visually. When you see the word mirror on your mirror every day, it becomes natural. You're training your brain to connect English words with real objects around you. That's how children learn, right? They see, hear, and speak. That's exactly what you're doing. And don't stop there. Speak those words aloud. This is a book. The book is on the table. I drink tea from this cup. Trust me, it may seem simple, but it works like magic. After some time, you won't even need the labels. Your brain will already know the words. Now here comes a very important message. Listen closely. Stop worrying about grammar. Please. Yes, I know. Grammar feels like a mountain. But you don't need to climb it before you start speaking. In fact, the more you focus on grammar, the more you'll hesitate. Let me ask you, when a baby learns to speak, do they learn grammar first? Do they say, "Today I will use the present continuous tense"? Of course not. They just speak. They make mistakes. They try again. And little by little, their grammar becomes natural. You must do the same. Instead of worrying about tenses, just focus on sentences. For example, I am eating. She is going to school. They are playing cricket. Say these again and again. Repeat them. Use them in your daily life. I am brushing my teeth. I am going to the market. I am watching a movie. The more you use simple sentences, the faster your brain will pick up the patterns. Grammar will not be a problem. It will become part of you. Another golden rule: listen and copy. That's right. Become a copycat. Watch English videos, listen to how people speak, and then repeat it, out loud, not just in your head. For example, if you watch a video where someone says, "Hey, how's it going?" You say it too. "Hey, how's it going?" Don't just understand. Speak it, feel it, live it. Now, let's go even deeper. Let me take you into your daily life. I want to show you how English can be part of your every routine. Let's begin with something we all do every morning. Your morning routine. Let's turn it into English. You wake up, You open your eyes. Now what? Say, "Good morning. I feel fresh today. I had a nice sleep. Now get up. I'm getting out of bed. I am brushing my teeth. I am washing my face. I am making tea." Yes, say all of it in English. Even if you're alone, especially if you're alone, say it out loud. These are the moments when your English gets stronger. Now imagine you're talking to your mother in the morning. What could that conversation be like? You. "Good morning, Mom." Mom. "Good morning. How did you sleep?" You. "I slept well. What are you making for breakfast?" Mom. "I'm making eggs and toast. Do you want tea?" You. "Yes, please. I love tea in the morning." Mom. "Here you go." You. "Thank you. It smells amazing. See? Simple. Natural. Real. These are not advanced words. These are your daily words, your real life, spoken in English. Let's take another step. You're going to the market. Say, "I need to buy some vegetables. Let me check my shopping list. I will take a bus to the market." When you reach the shop, here's how your conversation can go. You. "Excuse me, do you have fresh tomatoes?" Shopkeeper. "Yes, here they are." You. "How much is 1 kilo?" Shopkeeper. "It's $2 per kilo." You. "Okay, I'll take 2 kilos and some onions too." Shopkeeper. "Here you go. That'll be $5. You. "Here's the money." "Thank you." Shopkeeper. "Thank you. Have a nice day." This is real English. This is your English. And if you practice these small daily conversations, you will never feel scared again when it's time to speak. You'll feel ready, confident, happy. Now, let me tell you a little secret. When you do all of these things, talk to yourself, label your home, stop worrying about grammar, and practice real conversations, you start becoming someone new. You become the person who doesn't just study English. You become someone who lives English. And guess what? That person is already inside you, right now. You just need to wake them up. You just need to take that first step. So are you ready? Are you ready to walk on the road that leads to fluency? Because in the next chapter of this journey, I'm going to show you something even more exciting. Something that will make you think, speak, and feel in English without any effort. But for now, take a deep breath, smile, and say it out loud. I can do this. I am doing this. English is mine. I am share with you might just change your life forever. No, I'm not exaggerating. What if I told you that speaking English fluently is not as hard as you think? What if I told you that you already have what it takes? Would you believe me? Let me take you on a little journey, a journey into your everyday life. You wake up in the morning, right? You stretch, yawn, maybe check your phone, and then your day begins. But guess what? This regular day of yours is full of chances to practice English, and it's a lot more fun than you might expect. Let's start with something simple. Imagine meeting your friend. "Hey, how are you?" "I'm good. How about you?" "I'm great. What are you doing?" "Nothing much, just relaxing. Do you want to go for a walk?" "Yeah, that sounds great." Boom. That's it. That's English. You didn't need a fancy accent or long grammar lessons to say that, right? It's simple. It's real. It's how people actually speak, and you can speak like that too. Now imagine you're at a cafe. You look at your friend and say, "Let's order something. What do you want?" "I want coffee. What about you?" "I'll have a lemonade." "Okay, let's call the waiter." "Waiter?" "Yes, what would you like to order?" "1 coffee and 1 lemonade, please." "Okay, anything else?" "No, that's all." "Thank you. Your order will be ready soon." Sounds familiar, right? You've been in situations like this many times. But now, try imagining these scenes in English. Try living them in English. Isn't it exciting? You're not just learning, you're using. Now let's fast forward to the evening. You've had a long day. You're sitting with your family. You say, "Today was a long day." Mom asks, "What did you do today?" You reply, "I went to the market and met my friend." Mom smiles. That sounds nice. What did you buy? I bought some vegetables and fruits. Good. Now let's have dinner. Yes, I'm very hungry. See how natural that sounds? These are everyday moments that can become your personal English classroom. And at night, when the world goes quiet, you're not done learning. No, not yet. You look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Today was a good day. I learned a lot of new things. Tomorrow, I will wake up early and practice more English. Now, it's time to sleep. Good night." Doesn't that feel good? Speaking English is not only about passing exams or impressing others, it's about expressing yourself, your thoughts, your feelings. But let me share something powerful now. Ready? Listen and repeat. Yes, it's that simple. When you hear a new sentence in English, don't just listen, say it, repeat it, copy the tone, copy the speed, copy the feeling. For example, listen to this sentence. I am going to the market. Now say it with me. I am going to the market. Again, I am going to the market. One more time. You see, the more you do this, the more natural it becomes. And here's another truth. You don't need to speak fast. You need to speak clearly. So many people think speaking fast makes them sound fluent. But that's not true. Speaking slowly and clearly is true fluency. When you speak slowly, people understand you. And when they understand you, they respond. And that gives you confidence. Want to level up your pronunciation? Here's what you can do. 1. Listen and copy. Watch simple English videos or listen to native speakers. Hear how they say things. Then say the same thing out loud. 2. Speak slowly and clearly. Don't rush. Take your time. 3. Record your voice. Yes, use your phone. Record yourself saying something and then compare it with a native speaker. 4. Practice tricky sounds, like th in think, or V and watch in voice and west. 5. Use tongue twisters. They're fun and effective. Try this. She sells seashells by the seashore. Tongue twisters are like a gym for your mouth. The more you use them, the stronger and clearer your speech becomes. But maybe you're thinking, even if I say everything right, I still feel nervous. That's okay. It's normal. Everyone feels nervous when they start something new. I felt nervous when I learned a new language, too. I remember standing in front of the mirror trying to say a simple sentence in another language, and I froze. I laughed at myself. But then I tried again, and again, and soon I got better. So will you. Here's a secret. Even native English speakers make mistakes. Yes, even they forget words or say the wrong thing. But they keep speaking, and you should too. So how can you build confidence? Speak English every day, even if it's just 15 minutes. Talk to yourself, talk to your pet, talk to your mirror, talk while cooking, while walking, while getting ready. Use your day like a practice ground. Here's how. When brushing your teeth, I'm brushing my teeth now. When making tea, I am making tea. This tea smells amazing. When going out, I'm leaving the house. It's a sunny day. You don't need anyone else to practice. You have yourself. Now let's remember something important. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be brave. You just have to show up every day and try. That's how real progress happens. Not in a classroom, but in your life. So today, I challenge you. Talk to yourself in English. Just 5 sentences. Look around your room. Point at objects and say their names in English. Go to the kitchen. Say what you're doing. Make mistakes. Smile at them. Learn from them. Because every mistake is a step forward. You're not just learning English. You're becoming confident. You're becoming free. You're becoming Yao, but in English. And tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow is going to be even more exciting because we're going to talk about something that will take your English skills to a whole new level. Something that most learners ignore, but you won't. So stay with me. You are here again. And I'm proud of you. You've taken one more step towards your dream, to speak English fluently, confidently, and naturally. And today, I'm going to give you some of the most powerful, life-changing techniques that will transform the way you speak English. Forever. Are you ready? Let's begin with something magical. Just 3 simple words that will change your English. Talk to yourself. Yes, you heard me right. Talk to yourself. Talk to a friend. Talk to a mirror. Just speak. Why? Because the more you speak, the more confident you become. And when you speak to yourself, there's no fear, no judgment, no one to stop you, only you and your dream. So here's your first mission. Use the 3-second rule. Whenever someone asks you something in English, don't wait, don't freeze. Give yourself just 3 seconds, then speak. Your friend asks, "What did you do yesterday?" Don't sit there thinking, what should I say? No, just say something, anything. I went to the park. I watched a movie. I had a great day. That's it. Simple, real answers, because if you wait too long, you'll feel nervous. Your brain will start to doubt, and that fear will take over. But when you speak quickly and naturally, you train your brain to be confident. Now let's take it a step further. Let's practice a real conversation. Imagine you're meeting someone new. Here's how it goes. You. Hi. Nice to meet you. Other person. Nice to meet you too. What's your name? You. I'm Nick. And you? Other person. I'm David. You. Nice to meet you, David. Where are you from? David. I'm from Canada. And you? You. I'm from America. David. That's great. What do you do? You. I'm learning English and working as a teacher. David. That's interesting. See? That's how it happens. Naturally. Confidently. Like you've been doing it for years. And guess what? Now, it's your turn. Because I'm going to teach you something even more powerful. How to think in English. Yes. This is the secret key. If you truly want to speak fluently, you must stop translating in your head. No more thinking in your native language and converting every word. Why? Because that takes time, and it breaks your flow. Let me show you what usually happens. You want to say, I am going to the market. But first, you think in your native language. Then you try to translate it. Then you speak. By the time you say it, the moment is already gone. But now, I'll show you a better way. A smarter way. The right way. Think in English. Yes, even if you are a beginner. It's not difficult. It just needs the right steps. So let's start with step 1. Simple words. When you wake up in the morning, look around you and name things in English. Bed, pillow, window, curtain, sunlight. While brushing your teeth, say in your mind, I am brushing my teeth. While cooking, I am making breakfast. I'm using eggs and tomatoes. When you go outside and see a tree, don't think of the word in your native language. Just think tree. See a car? Think car. This is how you train your brain, 1 word at a time. Step 2, simple sentences. Once you are comfortable with words, move to short sentences. I am eating rice. This tea is hot. The weather is beautiful today. Don't stop to translate. Don't overthink. Just let the words come. Let them flow. Step 3. Talk to yourself. Yes, this is your superpower. Every day, spend just 5 to 10 minutes talking to yourself in English. While getting ready in the morning, I am choosing my clothes. I will wear my blue shirt today. While walking outside, the sky looks so beautiful. I see a little girl playing. It feels natural. It feels fun. And best of all, it works. Step 4. Listen and read in English. Every day. Your brain is like a sponge. The more English it hears, the more it absorbs. Watch English videos and movies with subtitles. Listen to English podcasts while cooking, walking, or relaxing. Read simple English articles or books. Let English become part of your life. But remember this, just listening is not enough. You must speak. Speak with friends. Speak with family. Speak with your mirror. Even if you make mistakes, it's okay, because mistakes are proof that you are trying. Now let's talk about something important. How to stop hesitation. The answer is simple. Don't think too much. Just speak. If you forget a word, don't stop. Find another way to say it. Example, you want to say, I lost my keys and I can't find them. But you forget the word lost. No problem. Just say, I don't have my keys. I don't know where they are. Boom. You're still communicating. You're still speaking English. That's what matters. Here's a simple daily plan for you. Morning, name everything around you in English. Afternoon, think in simple English sentences. Evening, watch or listen to English for 20 minutes. Night, talk to yourself for 5 to 10 minutes. Repeat this every day. And within a few weeks, your brain will start thinking in English, automatically, naturally, powerfully. And now, my amazing student, let me tell you something from my heart. You have already learned everything. You need to speak English fluently. The only thing that ever stood in your way was fear. But now, that fear is gone. You are stronger now. You are smarter. You are more confident. And I believe in you. Because learning English is not just about language. It's about life. It will help you get better jobs, travel the world, make international friends, and understand new cultures. But above all, it will make you feel proud. Proud of who you are. Proud of how far you've come. So never stop. Even when it gets hard. Even when others laugh or say you're not good enough. Don't believe them. Believe in yourself. Because this is not the end. This is just the beginning of your fluency journey. Now go out there. Speak, listen, think, make mistakes, learn, grow, because one day soon, you will speak English like a pro. And when that day comes, I'll be right here, smiling and cheering for you. So let's do this. Together. I'm with you on this journey, and I'll always support you. Now, take a deep breath. Look up and say it with me. I can speak English, and I will. Let's go. Let's dive into an inspiring story about learning English. Meet Emma, a passionate student of English literature from Toronto, Canada. She once struggled with the language, just like many of us. Today, she shares her journey with her friend Ryan, who is facing similar challenges. Let's listen to their conversation and see how Emma overcame her struggles. Introduction and initial struggles. Emma. Hi. My name is Emma, and I used to struggle a lot with learning English. Can you believe it? A student of English literature, yet I found it incredibly difficult. It was frustrating. Ryan. Oh, wow. That sounds just like me. Nice to meet you, Emma. I'm Ryan, and honestly, I'm struggling a lot with English, especially speaking fluently. It feels impossible sometimes. How did you manage to overcome your struggles? Emma. I totally understand how you feel, Ryan. I've been there. When I first started studying English literature, I was fascinated by the language, the way it sounded, the beauty of the words, but at the same time it felt overwhelming. Accents, vast vocabulary, confusing grammar rules. It all seemed too much. I remember feeling so lost and doubting myself. Ryan. That's exactly how I feel. Sometimes I wonder if I'll ever be fluent. How did you even start improving? Emma. The first step? I had to surround myself with English, completely. I started listening to English podcasts and watching movies with subtitles. At first, it felt like I was drowning in words I didn't understand. But slowly, things started making sense. I still remember the first time I watched an entire movie without subtitles. It was such a huge achievement. I was so proud of myself. Ryan. That's incredible. I listen to English podcasts too, but honestly, I still find it really hard to follow sometimes. Emma: Of course. That's completely normal. Learning a new language takes time, and you have to be patient with yourself. But you know what helped me? Repeating what I heard. I'd pause the podcast or movie and try to mimic the speaker's pronunciation and tone. It felt awkward at first, talking to myself in front of the mirror, but it worked. My pronunciation improved and I became more confident. I even practiced lines from my favorite TV shows, trying to match the actors' expressions and intonations. Ryan: That actually makes a lot of sense. Did you practice speaking with others too? Emma: Yes. And let me tell you, it was nerve-wracking at first, but it made a huge difference. I joined a language exchange program where I got to talk to native English speakers. At first I was terrified. What if they laughed at my mistakes? But you know what? They didn't. They were super supportive and even helped me correct my errors. It was amazing practice. Ryan: That sounds really helpful, but honestly, I feel shy about speaking with native speakers. What if I make mistakes? It's so embarrassing. Emma: Ryan, I totally get it. I used to feel the same way. But here's the thing. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Native speakers actually appreciate it when someone makes the effort to learn their language, and you don't have to start with deep conversations. I began with small talk, talking about the weather, hobbies, or daily routines. Once I got comfortable, I moved on to more complex topics. Also, practicing with other learners first helped me build confidence before speaking with native speakers. Ryan: That sounds like a good strategy, but my biggest problem is vocabulary. I always forget new words. Emma: Oh, I struggled with that too, but I found a trick: flashcards. I'd write a new word on one side and its meaning, along with an example sentence on the other. I'd review them regularly, and it really helped. Also, instead of just memorizing words randomly, I started reading books and articles on topics that interested me. This made learning new words fun and relevant. I even kept a vocabulary journal where I wrote down new words I encountered and reviewed them later. Ryan: Flashcards sound like a great idea. I think I'll try that. What about grammar? That's another big struggle for me. Emma: Ugh, grammar was a nightmare. So many rules, so many exceptions, but I tackled it step by step. I set aside time each day to focus on different grammar topics. I'd write sentences using the new rules I learned and took quizzes on grammar apps. One of my best resources was a grammar workbook. It had exercises and clear explanations, which really helped solidify my understanding. Ryan: Wow, it seems like you had a well-structured plan. I usually just study randomly, and maybe that's why I don't see much progress. Emma: Exactly. Having a plan makes a huge difference. I set small, achievable goals every week, learning a few new words, practicing a specific grammar rule, or having a 5-minute conversation in English. These small wins kept me motivated. Ryan: That's really inspiring, but tell me, how long did it take you to become fluent? Emma: The golden question. It took me a couple of years of consistent effort. But remember, everyone learns at their own pace. Don't compare yourself to others. Some people learn faster, some slower. That's totally okay. The key is to keep going and not let setbacks discourage you. There were times I felt like I wasn't making progress at all, but looking back, I realize how far I've come. Ryan, that makes me feel so much better. Thank you for sharing your experience, Emma. I feel much more motivated now and have a clearer idea of how to approach my learning. Emma, that's amazing to hear, Ryan. Remember, persistence is key. Keep practicing and you'll see progress over time. And hey, if you ever need support or just want to practice, reach out to me anytime. Ryan, I will. Thanks again, Emma. Your story has really given me hope. Emma, I'm so happy to hear that. Good luck with your studies, and most importantly, enjoy the journey of learning English. In this part, Emma dives deeper into the specific strategies she used to improve her fluency. She shares practical tips that helped her overcome challenges, stay motivated, and master English. Let's listen to her conversation with her Ryan. Part 2. Strategies for Improving Fluency. Ryan, Emma, before we wrap up, can you share some specific strategies that helped you improve your speaking fluency? Emma, oh, absolutely. One of the best techniques I used was shadowing. Have you heard of it? Ryan, shadowing? No, what's that? Emma, it's an amazing method. Basically, you listen to a native speaker and try to repeat what they say as closely as possible, matching their pronunciation, tone, and rhythm. I did this with YouTube videos, TED Talks, and even news broadcasts. It made a huge difference in my fluency. Ryan, that sounds really interesting. How often did you practice shadowing? Emma, every single day. I made it a habit to practice shadowing for at least 30 minutes daily. Consistency is key. The more you do it, the more natural it becomes. Over time, I noticed a big improvement in my pronunciation and speaking rhythm. Ryan, that makes sense. What about writing? Did you have any specific techniques for improving that? Emma, oh yes. Writing is just as important as speaking. I kept a daily journal where I wrote about my day, my thoughts, and even my dreams. In English, of course. It helped me express myself better and think in English. Plus, I joined an online writing community where I could share my work and get feedback. That was really helpful, too. Ryan, a daily journal sounds like a great idea. I think I'll start doing that. But tell me, did you ever feel discouraged during your learning process? Emma, many times. There were moments when I felt like I wasn't improving at all, and I even thought about giving up. But I reminded myself why I started learning English in the first place. Instead of focusing on what I couldn't do yet, I celebrated small victories, like learning a new phrase or successfully having a short conversation. These little wins kept me motivated. Staying motivated and setting goals. Ryan, that's really inspiring. But how did you stay motivated in the long run? Learning a language takes so much time. Emma, I know, right? But setting realistic goals helped a lot. Instead of thinking, I want to be fluent, which is too broad, I broke it down into smaller goals, like learning 5 new words a day or practicing speaking for 10 minutes with a friend. Tracking my progress made the journey feel more rewarding. Ryan, that's a great approach. I'll try setting small goals too. Also, you mentioned learning with a community earlier. Did that really help? Emma, yes. Connecting with other learners was a game changer for me. I joined an English learning group where we supported each other, shared resources, and even practiced conversations together. When you're surrounded by people on the same journey, it keeps you motivated. Ryan. That makes sense. I think I'll find a community too. Thank you for the tip. Before we go, do you have any final advice for someone like me who's just starting? Emma, yes. My final advice is this. Be patient and persistent. Learning a language isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. There will be ups and downs, but every little effort brings you closer to fluency. Keep practicing, seek out opportunities to use English, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Ryan. Wow, Emma, your journey is truly inspiring, and your advice is so helpful. I feel way more confident about my learning now. Emma, I'm so glad to hear that. Remember, I'm always here if you need support. Keep going and you'll get there. Ryan, thank you so much. I'll keep you updated on my progress. Have a great day. Emma, you too. Take care and keep practicing. Deep dive into practical tips and techniques. Ryan. Emma, can we go even deeper into practical tips? For example, how did you handle idioms and expressions? They always confuse me. Emma. Oh, idioms can be tricky because they don't always translate literally. I had a special section in my vocabulary journal just for idioms. Every time I encountered a new one, I'd write it down along with its meaning and an example sentence. Practicing them in context helped a lot. Ryan. That's a great idea. Can you give me an example? Emma. Sure. Take break the ice, for example. It means to start a conversation in a social setting. So I wrote a sentence like, he told a joke to break the ice at the meeting. Seeing idioms used in real-life situations helped me remember them better. Ryan. That makes sense. Did you use any online resources for idioms? Emma. Yes. The Cambridge Dictionary and websites like the Idiom Connection were super helpful. They provided detailed explanations and real-life examples. Also, watching TV shows and movies helped me understand how idioms are used in everyday conversations. Ryan. That's really useful. What about phrasal verbs? They confuse me even more than idioms. Emma. Oh, phrasal verbs can be a challenge. Their meanings aren't always obvious from the words alone. I used the same strategy as with idioms. I had a section in my vocabulary journal just for phrasal verbs. Each entry had the phrasal verb, its meaning, and an example sentence. Ryan. That sounds like a great system. Can you give me an example? Emma. Of course. Give up means to stop trying. So I wrote, she didn't give up even when things got tough. Writing them down and using them in my conversations helped a lot. Ryan. Did you make an effort to use new phrasal verbs in conversation? Emma. Yes. I made a conscious effort to use them every day. I also grouped phrasal verbs by the main verb. For example, I made a list of all the phrasal verbs with get, like get along, get by, get over. It helped me remember them better. Ryan. That's a smart idea. I'll start grouping them too. What about pronunciation? English pronunciation can be so tricky. Emma. Oh, pronunciation was one of my biggest challenges, but I found some great techniques to improve it. One effective method was practicing minimal pairs. words that differ by just one sound, like ship and sheep. This helped me distinguish between similar sounds and pronounce words more clearly. Ryan: That's interesting. What other pronunciation techniques did you use? Emma: I also recorded myself speaking and compared it to native speakers. It was embarrassing at first, but it helped me hear my mistakes and improve. Plus, I used tongue twisters. They're great for training your mouth to move correctly when speaking English. Ryan: Tongue twisters? Like what? Emma: Try this one. She sells seashells by the seashore. It helps with the sh and s sounds. Practicing tongue twisters made my pronunciation much clearer. Ryan: That's amazing. I never realized how many techniques I could use to improve. Thank you, Emma. You've given me so many ideas. Emma: I'm so happy to hear that, Ryan. Remember, keep practicing, and you'll see improvement over time. Enjoy the journey. Ryan: Before we go, can you share some specific strategies that helped you improve your speaking fluency? Emma: Sure. One technique that worked really well for me was shadowing. It involves listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say as closely as possible. I practiced with YouTube videos, TED Talks, and even news broadcasts. This helped me improve my pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm. Ryan: That sounds interesting. How often did you practice shadowing? Emma: I aim for at least 30 minutes a day. Consistency is key, and daily practice helped me build a strong habit. Over time, I noticed a significant improvement in my speaking fluency. Improving writing skills. Ryan: That makes sense. Did you have any specific techniques for improving your writing skills? Emma: Yes. I kept a daily journal where I wrote about my day, thoughts, and feelings in English. This helped me express myself more fluently. I also joined an online writing community where I shared my work and received feedback. Ryan: A daily journal sounds like a great idea. Did you ever feel discouraged in your learning journey? Emma: Many times. There were moments when I felt stuck or doubted my progress, but I reminded myself why I started learning English and celebrated even small victories. Staying positive and acknowledging progress kept me motivated. Ryan: How did you stay motivated over the long term? Emma: Setting realistic goals and tracking my progress helped a lot. I also connected with other learners who were on the same journey. We encouraged each other and shared tips. Finding a community makes a big difference. Ryan: I'll try to find a learning community too. Any final advice for beginners like me? Emma: Stay patient and persistent. Learning a new language is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be ups and downs, but every effort brings you closer to fluency. Keep practicing, seek opportunities to use the language, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Ryan: Thank you, Emma. Your journey is inspiring, and your advice is really helpful. I feel more confident now. Emma: I'm so glad to hear that. Remember, I'm always here if you need support. Good luck and happy learning. Ryan: Thanks, Emma. I'll keep you updated on my progress. Have a great day. Emma: You too. Take care and keep practicing. Ryan: Emma, can we explore some practical tips? For example, how did you handle idioms and expressions? They often confuse me. Emma. Idioms can be tricky. I created a special section in my vocabulary journal just for idioms. Whenever I learned a new one, I wrote it down with its meaning and an example sentence. For example, break the ice means to start a conversation in a social setting. I would use it in a sentence like, he told a joke to break the ice at the meeting. Ryan. That's a great idea. Did you use any online resources for idioms? Emma. Yes. I used websites like the Idiom Connection and the Cambridge Dictionary. They provide detailed explanations and examples. Watching TV shows and movies also help me understand idioms in real-life conversations. Ryan. What about phrasal verbs? They can be confusing too. Emma. Phrasal verbs are tricky because their meanings aren't always obvious. I used the same strategy as idioms. I kept a vocabulary journal just for phrasal verbs. For example, give up means to stop trying. I wrote, she didn't give up even when things got tough. I also grouped phrasal verbs by the main verb. For instance, get along, get by, get over. Take off, take up, take in. Ryan. That makes sense. Did you practice using them in conversations? Emma. Absolutely. I made a conscious effort to use new phrasal verbs in daily conversations. This helped reinforce their meanings and made them feel more natural. Pronunciation tips. Ryan. English pronunciation can be challenging with all its exceptions. What strategies helped you? Emma. I used several techniques. 1. Minimal pairs. Practicing similar-sounding words like ship and sheep helped me differentiate tricky sounds. 2. Recording myself. Comparing my pronunciation with native speakers helped me find areas for improvement. 3. Tongue twisters. These improved my articulation and speaking speed. Ryan. Recording myself sounds like a great idea. Did you take any pronunciation classes? Emma. Yes. Attending pronunciation workshops helped me get personalized feedback and practice without fear of judgment. Improving listening skills. Ryan. Sometimes native speakers talk too fast. How did you improve your listening skills? Emma. I started with slower content, like beginner podcasts and audiobooks, then gradually moved to faster speech. I also used the playback speed feature on video platforms. Slowing down the audio helped me catch every word. Ryan. That's a good tip. Did you use any specific techniques while listening? Emma. Yes. Active listening helped a lot. Instead of passively listening, I took notes on key points and new vocabulary, summarized what I heard in my own words, tried to predict what the speaker would say next. Ryan. How did you handle different accents? Emma. Exposure to various accents was crucial. I listened to content from the UK, US, Australia, and Canada to get used to different pronunciations. Ryan. Did you find any particular accent more challenging? Emma. At first, British accents were tough because of their unique vowel sounds, but with practice, watching British TV shows and listening to British radio, I got comfortable. Improving reading skills. Ryan. Did you have any special strategies for reading? Emma. Yes. I used 1. Skimming and scanning to quickly find main ideas and details. 2. Annotating, highlighting key points and making notes in the margins. 3. Reading aloud to improve pronunciation and rhythm. Ryan, did you read specific types of books? Emma, I read fiction, nonfiction, newspapers, and academic journals to get exposed to different writing styles. Joining a book club also helped. It made reading more interactive. Managing time and avoiding burnout. Ryan, how did you balance reading with other language activities? Emma, I created a weekly schedule that included reading, listening, speaking, and writing. I integrated English into my daily routine, reading during commutes, listening to podcasts while exercising, and journaling before bed. Ryan, how did you stay consistent without burning out? Emma, variety kept things interesting. I mixed different activities, took regular breaks, and celebrated small wins. Keeping my end goal in mind helped me stay focused. Final motivation for English learners. Here are some motivational reminders for your journey. Every word you speak brings you one step closer to fluency. Mistakes are proof that you're learning. Fluency is a journey, not a destination. Enjoy the process. Confidence comes from practice, so speak boldly. Your hard work will pay off. Keep going. Ryan, thank you, Emma. This was really inspiring. Emma, you're welcome. Keep practicing and enjoy. Have you ever tried to learn English but felt confused or stuck? Maybe you know some words and grammar, but speaking is still hard. I've been there too, and I'm here to help. In today's video, I'll share simple tips that helped me go from being nervous to speaking confidently. Whether you're just starting or want to improve, this channel is all about easy English you can use every day. Stay with me, and by the end of this video, you'll see how learning English can be simple and fun. Hi, I'm Jack, and today I want to share my story about learning English. I wasn't always good at it. In fact, I struggled a lot in the beginning. But over time, I found some useful tips and methods that really helped me, and I believe they can help you too, no matter what level you're at. So, let's start from the very beginning of my journey. When I first decided to learn English, I didn't know where to start. There were so many things to learn. Words, grammar rules, pronunciation. It all felt like too much at once. I remember feeling overwhelmed, wondering how I could possibly remember all of it. But one day I realized something important. I didn't need to learn everything at once. You see, learning English or any language is like building a house. You need to start with the foundation. So I began by focusing on the basics, the things I would use in my daily life. For me, that was simple words and phrases, greetings, introductions, and common questions. Words like hello, thank you, how are you, and goodbye. I even kept a small notebook with me to write down new words and review them when I had free time. At first, speaking English in front of others made me nervous. I was so afraid of making mistakes. But here's the thing. Making mistakes is part of the learning process. I made a lot of them, but instead of getting upset, I learned from each one. Every time I said something wrong, I just tried again until I got it right. And that's another important tip. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. The more you practice, the better you'll get. One thing that helped me a lot was listening to English as much as I could. I used to think I needed to understand every single word, but that's not true. Just listening regularly to English, whether it's music, TV shows, or podcasts, helps your brain get used to the language. For example, I used to listen to a radio show from London while commuting to work here in Edinburgh. At first, I didn't understand everything, but over time, my listening skills improved without me even realizing it. Here's a tip that made learning more enjoyable. Find something you love in English. For me, it was TV shows. I started watching a series I liked with subtitles in my own language. After a while, I switched to English subtitles. Finally, I tried watching it without any subtitles at all. It was hard, but it helped a lot. And because I was watching something I enjoyed, it didn't feel like studying. It felt like fun. Another thing I struggled with was pronunciation. Sometimes I knew the words, but people still couldn't understand me because I didn't pronounce them correctly. It was frustrating, but I found a solution. I started practicing out loud, even if I was just talking to myself. I would say new words over and over again until they sounded right. I also used online dictionaries with audio so I could hear how the words were supposed to sound. This was especially useful when I learned words that sounded very different from how they were spelled. And now, let's talk about grammar. Oh, grammar was tough for me. At first, it felt like a huge mountain to climb. I couldn't remember all the rules, and I kept mixing them up. But then I realized something important. You don't need perfect grammar to communicate. Grammar is important, yes, but don't let it stop you from speaking. It's okay to make small mistakes as long as people understand you. So, I focused on getting my point across, and as I got more comfortable, I slowly improved my grammar. I also started reading in English. At first, I read children's books because they were simple and had pictures to help me understand. Then I moved on to short stories, and eventually, I started reading online articles. I didn't always understand every word, but I got the main idea, and that's what mattered. Reading helped me learn new words in context, which made it easier to remember them later. One of the most important things I learned was consistency. If you want to improve your English, you need to practice regularly. I set a goal to practice at least 15 minutes every day. Some days I did more, and some days I did less. But I always did something, whether it was speaking, listening, reading, or writing. It wasn't always easy, but over time, I saw real progress. Speaking of writing, this is another tip. Practice writing in English. I started by writing short messages to friends, and later I tried journaling. Writing helped me organize my thoughts and think about the language in a different way. It also gave me a chance to practice grammar and vocabulary without the pressure of speaking in front of others. One day I found a language exchange partner online. This was a game changer for me. We would chat in English for a while, and then we would switch to my native language so we could help each other. Finding someone to practice with is one of the best things you can do. It's not just about learning the language. It's about building confidence, too. The more you practice with someone else, the easier it becomes to speak in real-life situations. Another tip that worked for me was labeling things around my house with sticky notes. I wrote the English words for everyday objects like table, door, and fridge, and every time I saw them, I would say the words out loud. It may seem like a small thing, but these little reminders helped me learn vocabulary without even realizing it. And here's something else that really helped: thinking in English. At first, I always thought in my own language and then translated it in my head. But this took too long, and I often got stuck trying to find the right words. So I started trying to think directly in English, even if it was just simple thoughts like, "I'm hungry," or "I need to go to the store." The more I did it, the easier it became, and soon I didn't have to translate everything in my head anymore. One important thing I learned along the way was to ask questions whenever I didn't understand something. In the beginning, I was shy and didn't want to seem dumb, but I realized that asking questions is the best way to learn. Whether it was about a word, a phrase, or a grammar rule, I asked my teacher, friends, or even people online. The more questions I asked, the more confident I became in using the language. Let me share a funny moment from my early days of learning English. I was practicing with a friend, and after we ate a big meal, I wanted to say, "I'm full." But instead, I said, "I'm fool." My friend burst out laughing, and I had no idea why until they explained the difference between full and fool. At first, I was embarrassed, but then I laughed too. And that's another tip: laugh at your mistakes. If you take everything too seriously, it's easy to get discouraged. But if you can laugh and learn from it, you'll feel more relaxed and confident. Finally, remember to be patient. Learning a language takes time, and there will be moments when you feel frustrated or stuck. I remember feeling like I wasn't improving fast enough, and there were days when I wanted to give up. But I reminded myself that learning English isn't a race. Everyone learns at their own pace, and it's okay if it takes time. So, to sum up, learning English has been a challenging but rewarding journey for me. I used a combination of listening, speaking, reading, writing, and consistent practice to improve. I made mistakes, asked questions, and found ways to make learning fun. Most importantly, I never gave up, and neither should you. Whether you're just starting or you've been learning for a while, remember that every step you take brings you closer to your goal. Now, it's your turn to put these tips into practice. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, ask questions, and find ways to enjoy the process. With time and effort, you'll get better, just like I did. When I first started learning English, I had to remind myself that it's okay to take time. There were moments when I felt stuck, like I wasn't making any progress. I'd study hard but still feel like I wasn't getting anywhere. However, I soon realized that even small steps, like understanding a new word or having a short conversation without getting nervous, were still progress. Sometimes the progress was so small that I didn't even notice it right away, but it was there. I learned that the key to learning a language is patience. You can't expect to become fluent overnight, and that's perfectly fine. For example, when I was living in Chicago, Illinois, I found it challenging at first to use English in everyday situations. I remember the first time I ordered coffee at a cafe. My hands were shaking as I tried to ask for a cappuccino. The words didn't come out smoothly, and I felt embarrassed. But then, I took a deep breath, and the barista was patient with me. After a few tries, I finally said it right, and I left the cafe with my coffee and a big smile. That small victory made me realize that even though I wasn't fluent yet, I was still making progress. So, my advice is to be patient with yourself. It's normal to have good days and bad days. The most important thing is to keep going and never give up. One thing that helped me stay focused was setting specific goals. Saying, "I want to learn English" is a great idea, but it's a big, vague goal. To make it easier, I broke it down into smaller, more achievable goals. For example, one week, I focused on learning 10 new words. I made sure to use them in sentences and practice them until I felt comfortable. The next week, I set a new goal: to have a 5-minute conversation in English. These smaller goals kept me motivated because I could clearly see my progress. Every time I reached a goal, no matter how small it was, I celebrated. Whether it was learning those 10 new words or completing a conversation, I felt proud of myself, and that gave me the energy to keep going. Speaking of goals, I once set a really big one for myself, giving a presentation in English. It was for a work project, and I was terrified. I practiced for weeks, going over my speech again and again. I wanted to make sure I knew all the words and phrases I needed to use. When the day finally came, I was so nervous that my hands were shaking, and I almost forgot some of the words. But I pushed through. I stumbled over a few sentences and even forgot a line or two, but I managed to get through the entire presentation in English. Afterward, I felt such a sense of accomplishment. It taught me that sometimes pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is scary, but it's the only way to grow. If I hadn't taken that step, I wouldn't have known how much I was capable of. Another thing that made my English learning journey more enjoyable was connecting it with things I loved. For example, I've always been a huge fan of football. I realized I could make learning English more fun by watching football matches with English commentary. At first, it was difficult to understand the fast-paced talking, but over time, my listening skills improved. The more I watched, the more I could understand what was being said. Eventually, I didn't even need subtitles. The key is to find something you enjoy and make it a part of your learning process. It could be books, movies, music, or even sports. When you're having fun, you'll forget that you're learning, and that makes it a lot easier to stay motivated. One of the best parts of my journey was making friends from different countries who were also learning English. We would help each other with vocabulary, grammar, and even pronunciation. Since we were all at different levels, we could teach each other new things. Having a community of learners made everything more fun. We would laugh at our mistakes together, share tips, and motivate each other to keep going. I remember when one of my friends from Mexico City accidentally said, "I have hungry," instead of "I am hungry," and we all laughed. Mistakes are a normal part of learning, and having people who understand what you're going through can make the journey feel less lonely. Looking back, I'm amazed at how far I've come. There were so many times when I thought I'd never be able to speak English fluently. But here I am, sharing my story with you in English. If I can do it, so can you. Remember, the tips I've shared. Be patient. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Set achievable goals and enjoy the process. It won't always be easy, but every step you take brings you closer to fluency. One day you'll look back and realize how much you've learned. You might even laugh at some of the mistakes you made along the way, but trust me, it will all be worth it in the end. After I started feeling more comfortable with English, I decided to challenge myself even more. I didn't just want to know the basics. I wanted to have real conversations, understand jokes, and even watch movies without subtitles. The idea was exciting but also scary. I reminded myself that this was just another part of the journey, and with each step forward, things that once felt impossible started to feel more reachable. One thing I noticed was that the more I practiced, the more my confidence grew. Confidence doesn't come all at once, though. It's like building a wall, one brick at a time. For example, I used to get really nervous when ordering food in English. I would practice what I wanted to say in my head over and over before actually speaking. If the person at the counter asked me something I didn't understand, I would freeze. But after doing it a few times, I realized that people don't mind if you make mistakes. They just appreciate that you're trying, and they usually want to help. There was one time I went to a restaurant in New York City. And instead of asking for a spoon, I accidentally asked for a spin. The waiter looked confused, and I quickly corrected myself. We both laughed, and I realized that making mistakes isn't the end of the world. From then on, I stayed more relaxed when speaking English. If you're too stressed, it's hard to focus. But if you stay calm, your conversations will go much smoother. Another thing that helped me a lot was practicing with native speakers. I was lucky enough to have a friend who spoke English fluently, and they were always very patient with me. We would hang out, and whenever I made a mistake, they would gently correct me without making me feel bad. If you don't have a native speaker to practice with, don't worry. There are apps and websites where you can find language partners. This really helped me improve because I was hearing real, natural English with all the slang, expressions, and idioms that you can't always find in textbooks. Speaking of idioms, I remember the first time I heard someone say, "It's raining cats and dogs." I was so confused. I thought they meant actual cats and dogs were falling from the sky. Of course, I later learned that it's just an expression that means it's raining heavily. Idioms like this can be tricky at first because they don't always make sense when you translate them directly. But once I started learning and practicing them, I felt like I had unlocked a new level of English. One last thing that really changed my perspective was realizing that English isn't just a subject to study. It's a tool. It's a way to communicate, connect with people, and explore new cultures. When I stopped thinking of English as something I had to study and started thinking of it as something I could use, everything became a lot more interesting. So if you're feeling stuck or overwhelmed, remember that learning English is a journey. It's okay to take your time, and it's okay to make mistakes. Just keep going, set small goals, and enjoy the process. One day you'll be telling your own story in English just like I am now. Once I began using English as a tool for learning, everything changed. I used to struggle with it, seeing it as something I had to learn because it was necessary. But once I started reading articles, watching tutorials on topics I was interested in, and talking to people from different countries, it no longer felt like a task. Instead, it became something I wanted to learn. English wasn't just another subject in school anymore. It became a key that opened doors to new knowledge, ideas, and connections. I remember one moment very clearly, a moment that made me realize how much progress I had made. I was sitting in my apartment in Mumbai watching a superhero movie in English. It was one of those action-packed films with lots of fast-paced dialogue, jokes, and intricate plots. In the past, I always needed subtitles to follow along. I could never fully enjoy a movie in English without feeling like I was missing out on something important. But this time was different. I suddenly realized I was watching the movie without subtitles, and for the first time, I understood everything. The jokes, the conversations, the story. Sure, I didn't catch every single word perfectly, but I got the meaning. And that was such an amazing feeling. It was like all the hard work I had put into learning English was finally paying off. All the hours of reading, listening, and practicing had led to this moment where I could enjoy something completely in English without needing help. I felt incredibly proud, and it's a moment I'll never forget. It's funny because when I started learning English, I never thought I'd get to this point. The idea of watching a movie or holding a conversation without stumbling seemed so far away. But that's the thing about learning a language. It's all about the small steps you take every day. It's not about making huge leaps overnight. It's about consistency. Every little bit of effort counts, and over time, those small efforts add up in ways you don't even notice at first. There were many days when I didn't feel like studying. Some days I was tired from work or just didn't have the motivation. But I always made sure to do something small, even if it was just listening to an English podcast while I walked to the grocery store or reviewing a few new vocabulary words before going to bed. Those small actions didn't feel like much in the moment, but over time, they made a huge difference. One thing I learned during my journey is the importance of celebrating your victories, no matter how small they may seem. Learning a language is a huge achievement, and you should be proud of every step you take. Whether it's understanding a simple sentence, using a new word correctly in a conversation, or making someone laugh with an English joke, these are all victories worth celebrating. Don't wait until you're fluent to celebrate. The process of learning is where the real growth happens. Every time you successfully use English, you are making progress. It's easy to get caught up in thinking that fluency is the only goal, but there's so much value in the journey itself. So, where am I now in my English learning journey? Well, I can confidently say that I'm fluent. I can hold conversations, watch movies, and read books without much trouble. But that doesn't mean I've stopped learning. English, like any language, is always changing, and there's always more to discover. I still come across new words and expressions, and yes, I still make mistakes sometimes. But I've learned to embrace that. Mistakes are part of the process, and I no longer feel embarrassed by them. What's more, I've come to love learning not just English, but everything that comes with it, the people I meet, the cultures I learn about, the new experiences that come from being able to communicate in a different language. I guess what I'm trying to say is that learning English isn't just about reaching a destination. It's about the journey. It's about the ups and downs, the challenges and the victories and everything in between. And if you stick with it, you won't just learn a language, you'll learn a lot about yourself along the way. I want to share a piece of advice for anyone out there learning English. Don't give up. Keep going, even on the days when it feels hard or when progress seems slow. And most importantly, enjoy the ride. One day, you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come. I know I certainly was. After I became comfortable with everyday English, something new came up that I wasn't expecting. Formal English. This is the kind of English you use in professional settings, like writing emails for work or speaking in a more serious, respectful tone. It's one thing to chat with friends or order food at a cafe, but it's a completely different challenge when you need to sound professional. I realized that while I was doing well with casual English, I still had a lot to learn about using the language in formal situations. So I shifted my focus to learning formal phrases and polite expressions. I wasn't sure where to start, so I began by looking at examples of formal emails and conversations online. One thing I noticed right away was how important politeness is in formal English. For example, instead of saying, "Give me the report," you'd say, "Could you please send me the report?" Instead of saying, "I don't agree," you might say, "I'm afraid I have to disagree." It's all about softening your tone to sound more respectful. One of the best resources I found for improving my formal English was TED Talks. These are speeches on all kinds of topics, and the speakers often use more formal language. I would watch them with subtitles, pausing whenever I heard a phrase or sentence structure that seemed useful. Then I'd try to use those same phrases when writing or speaking in formal situations. Around the same time, I had to give a presentation in English for a job interview. This wasn't just a school presentation. It was for a part-time job at a company in New York, where English was the main language. Part of the interview process was giving a short presentation on a project I had worked on. I spent hours practicing and made sure to prepare answers to typical interview questions like, "Why do you want this job?" and "What are your strengths and weaknesses?" Here's a tip. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, practice speaking out loud in front of a mirror. It might feel strange at first, but it really helps. I looked at myself in the mirror, pretended I was talking to the interviewer, and went over my answers again and again. It helped me feel more confident when the actual interview day came, and guess what? I got the job. That was a huge milestone for me. I wasn't just using English in casual conversations anymore. I was using it in a professional setting, and it felt incredible. Working in an English-speaking environment taught me even more about how language changes depending on the situation. In the office, I started to notice something I call business English. It's a bit more formal than everyday conversation, but not as stiff as formal writing. There are phrases people use all the time in meetings or emails like circle back, touch base, or moving forward. At first, these expressions sounded strange to me, but after hearing them again and again, I started using them too. I also learned how important it is to listen and understand in professional settings. Communication isn't just about the words you use. It's about how you use them to build relationships with coworkers, clients, and friends. Whether it's contributing to a meeting, responding to feedback, or working through disagreements, it all comes down to how well you communicate. Through this experience, I also improved my writing skills. I had to write emails, reports, and longer documents in English. Writing is different from speaking because you have more time to think, but that also means you need to be extra careful about grammar and word choice. At first, my emails were too long, and my tone wasn't quite right, but over time, I got better. A helpful trick I found was to read well-written materials, like emails from my manager or reports from other teams. I paid attention to how they structured their sentences and which words they used. Then, I tried to imitate that style in my own writing. It's funny. I never thought reading work emails would be part of my English learning journey, but it turned out to be one of the most useful tools for improving my professional English. And little by little, I got better at it. As I continued in my job, I realized just how important listening and understanding are. In fast-paced work environments, conversations often happen quickly. In normal situations, people might slow down or repeat things if you don't understand. But in a workplace, especially during meetings, people tend to speak fast, use technical terms, or throw around industry-specific words. This can make it difficult to follow the conversation if you're not well prepared. When I started working at a company in New York, I noticed that in meetings, everyone talked fast, used business jargon, and it was easy to feel lost. I realized I needed to do something to keep up, so I made some changes that really helped me improve my understanding of English in professional settings. The first thing I did was start taking notes during meetings. At first, I didn't write down everything because I couldn't keep up. Instead, I focused on writing down important words or phrases that I didn't understand. Later, I would look up those words or ask someone for their meaning. Over time, I built up a list of common words and terms that were used regularly in my field. For example, words like KPIs, ROI, or benchmarking were thrown around in almost every meeting. Once I understood them, I felt much more confident. Taking notes helped me stay engaged and understand the discussions better. One of the most important things I learned was to never be afraid to ask questions. If I didn't understand something during the meeting, I would ask for clarification. There is absolutely no shame in asking questions. In fact, it shows that you are paying attention and that you want to understand things clearly. Asking for clarification actually made me feel more confident because I knew I was getting the right information. My colleagues appreciated that I was trying to get things right, and it helped me become more comfortable in those fast-paced conversations. Another thing I did was start listening to podcasts about business and work-related topics in English. Living in Mumbai, I had to commute for work, so I used my travel time to listen to podcasts. This was a great way to expose myself to professional English. In the beginning, I had to pause and rewind a lot, because the speakers would talk quickly and use words I didn't know. But after a few weeks, I realized that I was understanding more and more without needing to pause. My brain was adjusting to the speed and vocabulary that people use in the workplace. This made me feel more confident when I had to listen to fast conversations in meetings or at work. One of the biggest steps that helped me improve was when I had the chance to travel for a business trip to London. It was my first time being fully surrounded by English speakers. Everything from ordering food in restaurants to attending business meetings was done in English. I had to think in English all the time. and this experience really pushed me to improve quickly. Being in an English-speaking environment helped me get used to hearing and speaking English all day. It was one of the best learning experiences I've ever had because it forced me to use the language constantly. If you can, I highly recommend traveling to an English-speaking country, even if it's just for a short time. But if traveling isn't possible, you can create an English environment at home. Surround yourself with English media like TV shows, podcasts, or conversations. The more you expose yourself to English, the faster you will improve. Watching videos or listening to English conversations will help your brain get used to the language, and over time, you will notice improvement. Looking back, I've come a long way from feeling nervous and confused in fast-paced conversations to feeling confident and comfortable. I've learned that mastering a language takes time, patience, and a lot of practice. But it's not just about learning words, it's about connecting with people and understanding different cultures. So, if you are still on your English learning journey, keep going. Every step you take brings you closer to fluency, and every mistake is a lesson that helps you grow. There's always more to learn, but remember, it's worth it. Thanks for watching. I hope these tips help make learning English easier for you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to Simple Spoken English for more lessons and tips. Also, hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. If you have any questions or want to share your own tips, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video, where we help you improve your English skills with engaging stories, tips,